enzyme is primarily responsible for joining Okazaki fragments during DNA replication? Correct answer is option B, DNA ligase. Which organelle is primarily responsible for beta oxidation of very long chain fatty acids? Correct answer is option A, peroxisome. Which part of the nephron is impermeable to water but actively transport sodium and chlorine? Correct answer is option C, thick ascending limb. Which structure is directly responsible for the maintenance of the blood-brain barrier? Correct answer is option B, astrocyte end feet and endothelial tight junction. Which one of the following rivers flows through a rift valley? Not relevant question, but correct answer is option B, Narmada River. Which molecule directly donates electrons to photosystem 1 during non-cyclic photophosphorylation? Correct answer is option A, plastocyanine. Which plant hormone is most strongly associated with stomatal colloid during water stress? Correct answer is option C, abscisic acid. A mutation that changes a codon but does not change the amino acid is called? Correct answer is option C, silent mutation. Which part of the human brain regulates body temperature, hunger and thirst? Correct answer is option B, hypothalamus. Which neurotransmitter is released at the neuromuscular junction of skeletal muscle? Correct answer is option B, acetylcholine. Which white blood cell is generally the first major cellular responder to acute bacterial infection? Correct answer is option A, neutrophil. The phenomenon in which one species benefits while the other is neither helped nor harmed is? Correct answer is option C, communalism. Which nitrogen-fixing bacterium is commonly associated with leguminous plant? Correct answer is option B, rhizobium. Which process converts atmospheric nitrogen into biologically usable nitrogen compound? Correct answer is option A, nitrogen fixation. The maximum population size that an environment can sustainably support is called? Correct answer is option B, carrying capacity. Which bacterium is responsible for tuberculosis? Correct answer is option A, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Which stage of Plasmodium enters human liver cells after transmission by an infected mosquito? Correct answer is option B, sporozoite. Which type of immunity develops after administration of a vaccine? Correct answer is option C, artificial active immunity. Which molecule acts as the universal energy currency of most cellular processes? Correct answer is option B, ATP. Which enzyme removes RNA primers during DNA replication prokaryotes? Correct answer is option A, DNA polymerase 1. Which nitrogenous base is present in RNA but normally absent from DNA? Correct answer is option C, uracil. Which genetic phenomenon involves the exchange of genes between homologous chromosomes? Correct answer is option B, crossing over. Which blood vessel carries oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart? Correct answer is option B, pulmonary vein. Which chamber of the human heart has the thickest muscular wall? Correct answer is option D, left ventricle. Which valve prevents backflow of blood from the left ventricle into the left atrium? Correct answer is option C, mitral valve. Which plasma protein is primarily responsible for maintaining colloid osmotic pressure? Correct answer is option B, albumin. Which hormone increases blood calcium concentration? Correct answer is option B, parathyroid hormone. Which part of the brain is primarily responsible for coordination and balance? Correct answer is option B, cerebellum. Which plant tissue is mainly responsible for the upward transport of water and minerals? Correct answer is option B, xylem. Which plant tissue consists of living cells with unevenly thickened walls and provides flexible spores? Correct answer is option B, collenchyma. Which pigment is primarily responsible for absorbing light energy during photosynthesis? Correct answer is option A, chlorophyll. In C4 plants, the initial fixation of carbon dioxide is catalyzed by. Correct answer is option B, PEP carboxylase. The loss of water vapor from aerial parts of plants is called. Correct answer is option B, transpiration. Which mechanism explains the ascent of sap in tall plants most effectively? Correct answer is option C, cohesion tension mechanism. Which hormone is most closely associated with cell division in plants? Correct answer is option A, cytokinin. Which plant hormone promotes fruit ripening? Correct answer is option C, ethylene. The hormone glucagon is primarily secreted by. Correct answer is option A, alpha cells of pancreatic islets. Which hormone decreases blood glucose concentration? Correct answer is option C, insulin. Which component of blood is primarily responsible for clot formation? Correct answer is option B, platelets. Telomerase is particularly important because it. Correct answer is option B, maintains chromosome ends. Which cell organelle contains its own DNA and 78 ribosomes? Correct answer is option B, mitochondria. Which type of RNA forms the structural and catalytic core of ribosomes? Correct answer is option C, ribosomal RNA. Which gas is mainly responsible for the greenhouse effect among the following? Correct answer is option B, carbon dioxide. Which layer of the atmosphere contains the ozone layer? Correct answer is option B, stratosphere. Which vitamin is produced in the skin in the presence of sunlight? Correct answer is option D, vitamin D. Food is transported through plants mainly by. Correct answer is option B, phloem. The opening and closing of stomata are primarily controlled by. Correct answer is option B, God cells. The anticodon is found on. Correct answer is option C, transfer RNA. Intrinsic factor is secreted by. Correct answer is option B, parietal cells. Which portion of the small intestine is the major site of iron absorption? Correct answer is option A, duodenum.